Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Diamond, your favorite social media manager, giving business owners tips on how to build their brands using influencer marketing. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about how much do influencers really cost. So fair warning, in this video, I'm going to be going a little bit deeper beyond just reciting some typical influencer rates, although I will mention that a little bit later in the video. But really the meat of this video is going to be talking about some criteria that goes into determining influencer rates, and I'm going to be giving you some tips on how to negotiate influencer rates. So if that interests you, just stay tuned. Okay guys, let's just jump right into it. Now the first thing that we need to address is that there is no one size fits all when it comes to influencer rates. As you may know, I work on the influencer marketing campaigns for my clients, so everything from start to finish I handle. And this is a reoccurring question whenever I'm working on a campaign. So usually if we're working with 5 to 10 influencers on a campaign, then more than likely we're going to get 5 to 10 different influencer rates. And my clients are always like, but why? Why is this happening, Diamond? And I get it. I definitely get it. It can be frustrating as a business owner going into influencer marketing and not really knowing what to expect when you're reaching out to these influencers. But on the flip side, there is some good to not having a one size fits all when it comes to influencer marketing. As a business owner, if there was a one size fits all, then you may end up overpaying an influencer who doesn't have the same credibility or skills as another influencer. So really having varying influencer rates really does help you on the business side. It just takes a little getting used to. Okay, now for the juicy part. Let's get into some criteria that goes into determining influencer rates. Okay, and so the first criteria is time. Now this one just means that different deliverables will take different amounts of time. And if you do not know, deliverables is just the type of content that the influencer is going to make. So let's say that you are asking an influencer to collaborate on a campaign and you are asking them to make a YouTube video and a reel. Now those two pieces of content are going to take considerably more time than if you were just asking them to create a story slide and a static post for you. And so here is when you as a business owner, you really truly need to understand what you're asking the influencer to do, which will really help you understand why the rate will be higher for these type of deliverables versus these. Now the second criteria is effort. So this one, you can think about it like this. If you are just asking the influencer to create a one-time campaign for you, that is going to take less effort than if you are working with the influencer on a longer term partnership. Let's say you're asking them to partner with you for 3 to 6 months on an ongoing campaign. That ongoing campaign is going to take more effort when it comes to thinking of the creative concepts for the campaign, when it comes to creating the actual content, and when it comes to making any changes that you may need done. And so you can see that that long-term partnership will take so much more effort than a one-time campaign. The next criteria is experience. This one is just you are going to pay more for somebody who has more experience. It is not fair to an influencer who has been in their industry, in their certain niche for 10 years creating content for brands, to be paid the same amount as an influencer who has just gotten started within the last 2 years. Although the influencer within the last 2 years does deserve to be rightly compensated for their time, effort, and experience, their experience does not match up to the 10 plus years that the other influencer has. And so you need to compensate based on experience too. And so when you get the influencer's rate sheets and you're seeing the rates that they are charging for different types of deliverables, always come back to this and always think of the time that it will take them to create that deliverable, the effort that will be put into this campaign or the partnership, and the experience that the influencer has. And once you understand those 3 criterias and you can kind of just run through it in your head, you'll kind of start feeling a little better probably about the rates that you are seeing, and it will help you go into negotiating better prepared. Let's get into some tips on how to negotiate influencer rates. But before I give you any tips, I do need to say this one thing, and please hear me out when I say this. The influencer rate will be the influencer rate no matter your opinion about it. And also just know that negotiating is okay. It's okay to do. It is, healthy. It is mostly welcomed and normal. In the influencer marketing world, there is always going to be something to be negotiated when it comes to influencer marketing campaigns, whether that's the influencer rate, something within the campaign, something like that will be negotiated. So the first tip that I have for you is to not go into this negotiation without anything to back up your counter offer. And so what I like to do is I like to look at some key insights and present that to the influencer when it is time to negotiate their rates. So some of the key insights that I like to use and refer to if I am negotiating influencer rate is engagement rate. So I think we all know and love this one. We do need to know how engaged the influencer's audience is with their content, which will help us kind of determine the rate that we are willing to offer. Another insight that I look at is previous partnerships. So let's say that you are at a certain level in your business. You want to see if the influencer has partnered with other brands that are on your same level. So if the influencer has not partnered with a brand that is on your competitive level, if they're just a little bit below, that can be something that you bring to their attention when you are negotiating their rates. Another key insight that I like to reference is their quality of content. And so quality of content, this one can mean, yes, like the actual quality of their content. Are their pictures clear? Are they not blurry? Are the videos, are they in focus? Or is the sound really good? Not only that, but are they also keeping up with the times? Social media is forever changing. It is always great to keep up with the certain creative level that is going on social media all the time. And so you want to see, are they up to date, creating reels, creating TikToks, and doing all the things? Or is their content kind of stuck in the past and they're still just posting pretty pictures? And so the second tip that I have is to understand what you're asking for. And so yes, this one does include the 3 criteria that we talked about in the beginning. So time, effort, and experience. But it does also include, are you asking the influencer for usage rights? And usage rights really just means that you are asking the influencer to use their image or the content that they create for you beyond the scope of the campaign. So for example, let's say that you are running a campaign from December 1st to December 31st. That's it. But you are asking the influencer for usage rights for 6 months after that campaign ended. So you are asking the influencer to use their content, their image, for 6 months after the campaign ended. And guess what? You will have to pay for that. You have to pay for that because technically for 6 months after the campaign ended, the influencer is still making you money without them getting a dime. This also includes exclusivity, and exclusivity just means that you are asking the influencer to decline partnerships from other competitive brands in your industry for a set amount of time. So for example, let's say that you are a hair care brand and the campaign is running from December 1st to December 31st. And you are asking the influencer to not work with any other hair care brands in your space from November 1st to January 31st. You have to pay for that. Because if another hair care brand comes along and they're like, oh my gosh, we love your content, we really want to work with you, that influencer has to say no because they are legally obliged to honor the contract that they signed with you to not work with any hair care brands for 3 months, even though that campaign only ran for 1 month. And so what you need to do is you need to understand, how long do you truly need the usage rights for that content? How long do you truly need the influencer to not partner with any competitors within your space? That's where you as a business owner, you really have to look at the campaign and your business goals and really understand what you are able to compromise on. Maybe you want to ask for exclusivity, but it's only for December and January, not November, December, January. So that way you are paying less with exclusivity, but you are still getting some of it. So my next tip is to always counter with a solution. So let's say that the influencer rate is $5,000, but you want to counter with $3,500. So you would say something like, thank you so much for providing your rates of $5,000 for this X deliverable. We are so looking forward to working with you and your brand. We absolutely love the type of content that you're creating, and we really value you as a creator. Currently, we are able to offer you $3,500 for X deliverable with the promise and expectation that we would like to work with you on a long-term partnership basis. We will be looking to partner with you again for our spring campaign. We would love to start this working partnership with you with this campaign at $3,500 and revisit your original rate in the future with our spring campaign. That's it. That is a perfect synopsis of how you can acknowledge the influencer rate, acknowledge the value that they provide, while also giving your counter and explaining why the counter, which is lower than their original asking price, but why the counter is beneficial for them. My next tip is to understand when it is time to move on. Negotiations can only go so far. There is only so much back and forth that should be done between you and an influencer before you realize that it is just not going to be a good fit and you have to move on from the situation. But I will say that with this, like I say, influencers talk. You always want to be professional. You never want to be rude or disrespectful about it. The key part, if you cannot come to an agreement with an influencer when it comes to negotiation, is to keep a line open for reconnecting. And so that may sound something like, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us and considering yourself for this campaign. We understand that at this time we are not able to come to an agreement with you on your rate, but we are still fans of your content. We value your work as a creator, and we hope to keep this line open for future connections. That's it. That's all you have to say. You do not have to go into over explain how it's so much out of your budget. Please do not do that. Just keep it short, simple, and sweet. And finally, let's talk about some average influencer rates. Now again, there is not one size fits all when it comes to influencer rates, so just please take these with a grain of salt. So nano influencers are influencers who typically have between 1,000 and 10,000 followers, and their rates can range from $80 to $500. Micro influencers typically have 10,000 to 100,000 followers, and their rates can range between $400 and $3,000. Macro influencers have upwards of 1,000 followers, and their rates can range from $5,000 to $10,000. And then we have mega influencers, which are basically the celebrity influencers, so like the Kylie Jenners of the world, and their rates can be $50,000 and more. Okay guys, so I really hope that this helped you understand the thought process that goes into determining influencer rates, and I hope that this gave you some confidence when it comes to approaching negotiating influencer rates. If it did, please let me know in the comments below, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!